Hello. Hello. We are back again. So I would just start again with our talk, I guess. Cool. Again, we are very, very happy to be part of this residence program from the VRHAM Festival in this year. And we want to introduce you to our work and project we are working on, focusing on right now. We're a little team of 3 people. Joan is in Barcelona, Uwe is sitting in Innsbruck, and I'm working here right now remotely during this period of time from Berlin, in Berlin. So we met at the Espronceda Immersiva Residency in Barcelona at the beginning of this year. And this was also the start of our project and the investigation on the private spaces in virtual reality. Our apartments. So we believe that our apartments are, as much as they are a place for rest and comfort, also a storage space for a lot of memories and a lot of personal stories we actually manifest through all the objects and all the belongings we have at home. In that sense, you can understand this apartment as a hard drive, which is filling up every day by all new objects and new memories we're capturing with that. So by reading out these objects, you can understand it as an archive of a person, which by the objects of the person, you can actually tell its person's story, its wishes and hopes, and also you can hear about his fears. And since the outbreak of the pandemic, we had developed a very unique relationship with our private spaces, as we were all the time at home in quarantine. We also developed a very unique relationship with the places of others, as through this massive amount of video conferences, they meant kind of an open window to these spots. We were wondering about these spaces and places, and we wanted to hold on to this moment also and capture it, where we are in our private spaces looking for these niches and corners to find rest, to think and reflect on the stuff which is going outside during this crisis. So this moment was very interesting to us. We started this project, an archive of device privacy, to collect our private and very personal spots. We began scanning our spaces and we began to merge them together in virtual reality in a space where we could all stay connected. We invited our friends and colleagues and family members, and this social landscape, this hyper living room, as you can say, with these many, many very personal private dioramas start growing and growing. Today, we are launching our website to reach out to more participations and to let this community and archive grow. I would love to come later back to this and introduce you more to this concept. And for now, I will give the voice to Johan, and he will introduce you and give you an inside view of the VR experience.
Okay, thank you, Bettina. Hi. So imagine you are in a festival 1 year from now, VRHAM 2021, why not? And you're just about to enter the VR experience, the smallest of worlds. We ask you to look back in time and in a time where we were locked down for weeks. What was your favorite spot back then at your home? Capture it and stay with it as you put on the VR headset. As you put it on then, you find yourself inside a vast landscape of objects and mattered sounds. You don't know it yet, but these objects are containers of the contributed spaces, of what people has contributed through the website, waiting for you to unfold them. But for now, all you can do is look and listen. As you walk around, you explore, you get close to the cup of coffee to see what it's saying, you get away, move along to the next object, etc. Suddenly, a representation of your hand appears. Now you can also do. You're invited to interact. So you engage in a non-linear storytelling experience from now on. You will create your own journey depending on what you choose, on what you do. First of all, you will choose one of the objects by interacting with it, and it will unfold a space. The thing is that you don't know what it's leading to. So maybe once you've done it, you're in Sebastian's studio in New York, or Mohamed's big birdcage, by Mohamed's big birdcage in Berlin, or in Shirley's garden in Brazil. So you have entered someone's private space. This first stage of the experience is about intimacy, but you don't know where you are. You're face to face with fragments of the space, maybe fragments of themselves, and you take time to explore, move around, find different angles. And then again, an interactive element appears again, and it unfolds another space from this same person maybe, or maybe someone else's studio, or an outdoor space if you were in the garden. This new space will elegantly overlap the first one, creating a first composition. You don't navigate, you accumulate here. Then you unfold maybe another space, perhaps a fourth one, all related to each other. So you engage in an interactive journey across spaces, which is unique for every user, and it depends on the choices along the way. 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 spaces merging and combining and overlapping until the calmness and intimacy gives way to the overwhelming accumulation, to chaos, as more and more spaces and scales start to combine.
I will jump in right here and continue with the user journey of the project, but with a slightly different tone. I'm going to reveal to you now the poetic side of the smallest of worlds. And as you keep wandering through this continuously unfolding archive of bits and scattered memories, you experience more and more fragments of space begin extensively to overlap and intersect with each other, creating strange composites and domestic storylines that invite you to vivid interpretations and emotional reflections. In this virtual reality experience, the concept of using the aesthetics of point clouds does not originate from the desire for precision, but rather it is the conceived imprecision that is used as a poetic device representing a vague space full of moments of hesitation and speculation. A space that is purely ephemeral, constructed from the stuff of intimate stories and vanishing memories. Corresponding to the constantly growing density of the visual space, the accompanying soundscape becomes increasingly confusing, messy, and sometimes even bizarre. The voices begin to compete and interrupt each other violently. Dialogues become highly fragmented and torn out of their contexts. The acoustic layer of the virtual space starts to emancipate itself from the dominant visual content and opens up an elastic space of dialectics. More and more fragments of information emerge and become sensually interwoven with each other like a tightly knotted carpet. And the further you move through the space, let's call it a hyperspace, and explore its eclectic beauty, the more you become entangled in this colorful ocean of pulsating and vibrating points. Slowly, a feeling of overwhelming sublimity overcomes your sensual apparatus, and you're aware now that you're part of the shared landscape, part of this collective memory of this particular time in history. You start to lose control over your senses and your body awareness, and you get fully immersed into the multi-layered environment. And then, the big collapse, the blackout. The fragile space that surrounds you is melting down, gradually fades away like particles in the air, point by point, and the blaring voices have suddenly fallen silent. And you find yourself back in the vast open space. You may need a couple of seconds to adjust yourself to the cruel emptiness and the brutal silence of this vacuum-like space. And here are you now, probably taking a deep breath and getting mentally ready to exit the installation. But before you take off your headset, the space is reaching out to you once again and offers you one last opportunity to leave a trace, to share one very personal, intimate moment, a moment that has marked your memory of those days in quarantine.
Okay, and the future archive, this is a further development of the work, another instantiation. From the very beginning, we wanted this project to have several ways for people to engage in it. We're aware of both the potential, but also the limitations of VR, and we wanted to play around with this. So very early on, we decided that we wanted to have an online version, an online part of the project where the totality of the contributions could be explored, but not as a replication of the VR experience, neither as a simple archive. We want to create a more multi-layered approach, more narrative experience, much along the lines of interactive documentary.
So, and how can you support us, basically? So at the current stage of our project, we are looking for support in various areas. We are, of course, starting to apply for larger fundings at the moment, but we're also looking for institutions to partner up with. We are thinking of cultural institutions like, for example, museums, like design museums, even architectural museums, film institutions, etc. That might have interest in supporting us in the realization of the project, but also we would like to kind of team up with institutions that just want to showcase our work and make it available to a wider public. And to give you a short overview of the project schedule, we aim to have a presentable installation, or let's say a prototype, by the end of the year. So it should be ready by the end of the year. I think during the summer, we will still continue to collect material and let this archive of spaces grow and moments grow. And approximately in autumn, we would jump into the full production mode or full production phase of the project. And then by the end of the year, our prototype would be ready.
All right. So I want to come back now to the website, because I want to ask you, the audience of this short presentation, where in your apartment did you prefer to retreat during the past weeks? And what was going on through your mind? What became essential for you and what you would like to hold on to when you're thinking back now? Did the quarantine maybe change the view on your apartment? And how does it impact your surroundings? Think about it and keep it in mind. And it would be great if you want to visit our website, thesmallestofworlds.com, to share that with us. Within, we have there for you a very easy video with an instruction how to scan your space simply with your mobile phone. And there's also a little form to fill out. And for now, we want to thank you very much for your attention. And please follow us on Instagram and get in touch with us. Visit our website. And now we want to show you a little demo film of our experience.